What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody has been having a great week. I know I have. It is super hot here in Chicago today. I think we hit 90 today. We haven't hit 90 in a while. I know the weather's been crazy recently, so I'm just hanging in there and seeing when I can film like on a good sunny day. And today is that day. A little bit of windy, but it's all right. But as you can see, I have the coilovers laid out right now. I did a little bit of test fitting on the widebody yesterday in the rears. As you can see, like the car is finally fixed now and everything is back to normal, so we can actually like start this widebody. Like, I am super excited, and today I'm gonna run with you guys through on how to install Megan Racing coilovers on the G35. I test fitted the Crown Carbon Crafting widebody on the right rear quarter panel, and I'll just throw in the picture right here so you guys can see what it looked like. But before we get started, I would appreciate it so much if you smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and turn that bell on for notifications. We are growing so fast right now, and this build is really about to take off, and I really want you guys to be a part of it. Let's get on with the rest of the video. I'm going to be starting in the rear, so let me get this jacked up for y'all.
1 hour later.
All right, so I have everything set up to get the job done. The car is on a jack stand, everything is in the air, and right now I have the rear buckets of the coilovers, and basically right now what we're gonna be doing is adjusting this preload. Basically, we're gonna be adjusting these two collars right here that apply forces against each other to lock the height in place in the rear, I guess you could say. And basically what we're gonna be doing is raising both of these collars upwards to lower the car. So anything upward with the collar is lowering, anything downward is raising the vehicle. So right now, I'm just gonna adjust these to a little bit more than halfway towards the top so we can be at a decent height rate. So I just finished setting up the preload. As you guys can see, I counted about 8 threads in between the top collar and the top part of this hat here. So that should be good, and that should give us a good idea of where we want the ride height to sit at. And from there, we can just always adjust it. So let's get to installing these finally. As we are finally getting into it. So basically next is taking out this so we can install the coilovers and the new bucket spring. So basically to do that, we're going to be wanting to take this bolt off right here from the shock, this bolt from the bucket for that holds the spring, so we can drop that, and that'll allow us to get the spring out and put the new ones in right here. And then it's going to be these 2 bolts up at the top, and that should release this whole shock, and we could take it out and install the news. So something I just found out, basically the 17 bolt that holds this bucket for the spring here, you have to hold the nut in the back while you loosen this part. So basically I asked for my dad or little brother to help me with this, so one of them could hold this one while I unloosen it. So we'll see how it goes. This is the last thing we need just to drop the bucket and get the spring in. Alright guys, so I just managed to get the bolt out for the bucket that has the spring. So basically now all you want to do is you just want to push down like so until it falls out just like that. And you could just take it out and throw it away or do what you got to do. First, I'm going to install the rear bucket springs before I get to the shocks. Everything is out, so I'm just going to show you how to install it. So when you begin installing these, you want to take your top hat off, and you're gonna want to kind of jam it in here. There's 4 clips under here that go on the inner circle and make it attached up there, so you want to play with it a little bit. So you get it nice in there just like that. I got the spring back in its bucket, and next what you want to do is you want to get any jack and you want to put it underneath your bucket until you raise it enough to get your bolt back through this right here inside your bushing. There we go. Everything is tightened up with the bucket for the spring. I got everything all bolted up, and now we're just gonna get to putting the shock back on. I WD-40'd all the bolts and the threads just so everything goes back smoothly. And yeah, let's just get to putting that on now. Alright guys, so I just ended up finishing putting on the coilover shock in the rear, and I just tightened everything up, and now I'm gonna put back on the stock wheel that I have over there, and we're gonna see what these came like. I mean, how they look preloaded from factory. We're gonna see how low they have them when they send them out. The same thing as what I had it before. I am back. It is day 2 of this install of the G35 coilovers, and I actually got really tired of doing this by hand, so I went and picked up some attachments for my drill so I can actually have the sockets on them, because doing all this stuff by hand is dead as hell. So let's see if this makes it a little bit faster. Also, it was kind of dark when I showed you guys the rear, but this is the rear that I completed, and it's about the same height as I have with the lowering springs that I had on. I had Monzo lowering springs that came with this car, and it's about the same height. So basically these coilovers come preloaded to about this height if you guys ever get them. I just got the G all jacked up and I'm ready to start the job. It started pouring on me a little bit, but the rain should be gone in about a half hour. According to the weather, hopefully it's correct, but I just want to show you guys what we're going to be loosening in the suspension components to be able to install the front coilover. And that is going to be, you want to take off all your brake lines around the front shock, and you're going to want to take this one off right here that you got to unscrew, which I already did. And then you're going to want to unbolt your control arm right here and take your cotter pin out so that you get room to take off the front shock. And you're going to want to loosen right here too. I already took the bolts out, but that's okay. I ran into a problem actually, and I had to actually go buy a bolt extractor kit because that bolt at the bottom of the shock was actually very rusted and rounded, and I was just very happy that I was able to get that out with the bolt extractor kit, because for anyone that knows, these are a headache if you don't have the right tools. So let's continue the job. Okay, so I ended up getting all the bolts that I showed you guys in the last clip. And just one more thing that I forgot to tell you guys is that with this upper arm right here, just make sure you loosen the bolts back here. There's 2 of them, just one right here and one on the opposite side right here where my finger is. And then this bushing sometimes, I mean most of the time, it will be stuck to your arm right here. So just hit it with a hammer upwards until it pops out like that. And then you could just pull it out now. You can pull your suspension out a little bit and out of the way. And this is playful, so you can just move this out of the way as you're taking out your front shock. So the last bolts that we really need to take out here are the ones that are inside the engine bay, just these 3 right here. And then it's time to install the front coilover. I just got everything back together with the front coilover. That was the last coilover I had to do. All 4 corners of the G35 are finally done, thank God. That was a long, tedious process because I didn't have certain tools and I ran into rusted bolts and stuff like that. So if you have problems like that, they can always prolong your project, but never let it get in the way of you finishing. Let's finally drop this thing and see where it's at. I have to say I am quite pleased with the drop that it has preloaded from Megan Racing, because as you can see, it's pretty flush with the tires in the back, and that is identical to how I got the car, since I got the car with Monzo lowering springs. And that's all the drop I needed, because as you know, in Chicago there's a lot of potholes everywhere, and there's no way I could slam this all the way to the ground right now because this is my daily. But I did get these coilovers basically for the widebody that I have. For anyone that doesn't know already, my new viewers, I actually have the Crown Carbon Crafting widebody kit for the G35, and right now I'm just installing everything that I need to get up into the point of installing that. And everything that I need to install before installing the widebody kit is just front and rear camber arms and my ball nose extended studs with my 10mm spacer, because that is what was required to install my 19x11 that I have in the front. I am running a staggered setup, which is going to be 19 by 11 in the front and 19 by 12 in the rear. And I'm really excited for that. Like, you guys should really stay tuned. If this wide body is something that you're interested in, something that you want to see the process of, or something that you maybe want to do in the future with your G35. So if you're interested, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.